In this video, we are going to see all the different types of primitives that are available in FreeCAD in Part Workbench. So first, we'll go to Part Workbench and then create a new document. Now, as you can see, from the third line here, it shows all the different types of primitives that are available. You can create a cube, a cylinder, a sphere, a cone, and a torus. Now all of this, as you can see, it is a solid. So it's not a shell model that is available for this one. It is just the solid that is available for geometric primitives. So let's start using each of them one by one and see how we can edit or modify them. So I'll click on Create Cube. As soon as you click it, you can see that a cube is added in the Models tab, and when you click on it, you can see that the placement of this cube is at the position 0, 0, 0 in XYZ. The length of the cube is 10 millimeters, width is 10, and height is 10 millimeters. Now in the 3D model view, when I rotate it, you will be able to see the whole cube. Now I can zoom in and zoom out. If I go back to the cube, if I want to change the length of the cube, say I would like to make it 150 and the width to be 250 and the height I would make 550. Now as again the cube is not, the whole cube is not visible, so we'll go in and click on the fit whole screen. As you can see, the cube with the new dimension is available to us now. Let's keep cube on the side and let's add a cylinder. Now you can click here, or you can also go to Part and then Primitives, Cylinder. Now as you can see, we added cylinder but we can't see it. But if you zoom in, you will be able to see the cylinder added here. So let's first change the radius of cylinder. Let's make it 150 millimeter radius, and the height of this cylinder would be 225 millimeters. Now I'm giving this arbitrary dimensions to it just for the sake of showing you how it is working. So this cylinder, how about we just move this cylinder a bit? So let's double click the cylinder. When you do that, FreeCAD comes up with this arrows, which is helpful to you to move this cylinder or the object that this is connected to. Now as you can see, the green arrow here represents y-axis. As you can see on the right hand bottom corner, the y-axis is green in color. So if you click and hold and then drag, this cube will only move in y direction. If I would like to move it in x direction, this red arrow is the arrow that you need to click and then drag it in that direction. For z direction, the blue arrow. Now let's first drag it and put it a bit further in y direction. Now you can see those spheres, the red, green and blue spheres here. So what do? They help. When you click and drag them, you can see that this cylinder rotates in a particular plane. Now the red sphere rotates this cylinder with axis as x-axis, so red sphere, red arrow, and the entire thing will rotate in YZ plane. Similarly, if you click on the green sphere, the entire cylinder, it will move or will rotate with keeping the y-axis as its axis of rotation, and it will rotate in XZ plane, as you can see here. And similarly for the blue one. Now for the cylinder, you won't be able to see any change because z-axis is actually the axis of the cylinder. Now for the cylinder, you can see the third parameter here, which is angle of 360 degrees. Now what does that mean? If I want to make it 90 degrees, you can see that now this cylinder is only in the 1/4 of the quadrant. So if I change this to 45 degrees, you will get a nice slice of pie, but so the entire cylinder now is just within that 45 degrees. If you do this way and then you double click the cylinder and you start rotating it, then you will be able to see how the cylinder is rotating. Now I'll go back and change this cylinder to 360 degrees and we are back with that cylinder. Now the other way of moving this cylinder is by position. So in here you can see x is 60, y is 526 and z is -37. So if I make this x 0 and z 0, it means that we have just moved it 526 millimeters in y direction. Let's change this to 500 just to give it an even round figure. Next, let's add a sphere. So when I click on the sphere, again you won't be able to see it, but let's just make the radius as 100. Now sometimes when you click on it and then when you enter a value, you will see that the size of the sphere or the size of the object didn't change. As you can see, it is still at that same radius. Now when you look closely in the model tab, you can see a small blue colored tick mark. That shows that this entity or this object is ready to recalculate now or to refresh. So to refresh this, what you need to do is you need to go up. You can see this recomputes the current active document. When you click on that, you will see that the entire FreeCAD document, especially the sphere which was marked for recomputing, has now taken its original shape or size of radius 100 millimeters. Now here, first let's just move this sphere away. And now let's look at angle 1, 2 and 3, which is available to us for this the properties of sphere. So instead of -90, if I make angle 1 as 0 and I recompute, it shows you that the sphere becomes a hemisphere. Now let's make this angle 45 degrees and click on enter. Now we'll have to recompute this one again, and as you can see that the sphere is again chopped a bit more from the bottom up. Let's make this angle 1 -90 as it was previously and recompute, and you will get or you will see the full sphere again. Now with this sphere, let's change angle 2. Let's make this 45 and let's recompute. So as angle 1 was cutting the sphere from bottom up, angle 2 cuts the sphere from top down. So instead of 45, if I make this 0 degrees, this will get again a hemisphere, but this time the bottom half will be visible and the top half will be gone. Let's make this again 90 degrees. Now just to confuse everyone, I can make angle 1 0 and angle 2 0 and the sphere will be gone. Let's see what shows up. As you can see, sphere is gone now. So let's just go back, -90 and 90, and your sphere is back. Now with the sphere, the angle 3 is you can see this line, the curved line on the sphere surface. When I reduce this angle 3, what you will see is that the sphere will be cut into slices from this line here. So let's make this 45 degrees, and when I recompute it, you can see that now the sphere is cut in slice, and this angle here between this and this edge would be 45 degrees. Similarly, if I make this 90 and recompute, you can see that now this is 1/4 portion of the sphere. So similarly, if I just make it 360 degrees, you will be able to see the full sphere here. Now, as I said earlier, if I made this 0, you can only see the face that was used to revolve this face to generate the sphere. So what happened is, this face that I have clicked here, that is in green color, is revolved around this axis here, the one that is selected in green right now, and that's how you got your sphere. Let's change it back to 360 degrees and recompute. Next on the list, we have a cone. So when I click on the cone, again it's the same thing. The cone is very small. So let's go back to cone first. Now, if you want to make a cone with pointy end, just make radius 1, 0. And how about I'll make radius 2, 100. And the height of this cone would be 200. Let's zoom out, and this cone, let's just move it out. Click on OK, and now let's concentrate on this cone here. So this cone, radius 1 is the bottom, is the radius of the bottom point of the axis. Radius 2 is the top. Now I can flip this around as well, or if I make this radius 1 equal to radius 2, what I will get is a cylinder. But because I am trying to create a cylinder out of a cone, FreeCAD is, as you can see, FreeCAD is giving exclamation mark with a red color, and when you hover your mouse over it, FreeCAD gives you a message saying cone with 2 identical radii. So you cannot have cone with 2 identical radiuses. Now what will happen if I made this 99, and if I refresh, you can see the entire, it's like a cylinder. Now let's go back and make this 0 and this 100. Now you know what is radius 1, radius 2 and height. Now if we change the angle again, let's make it 90 degrees, and you can see that we are making sections of this cone. As you can see, that's the section of the cone that we just made. Now instead of 90, if I made it 180, you'd get half cone, and 360 you get the full cone. So let's go back to the view that we were at, and the last primitive that FreeCAD provides us is Taurus. So when I click on Taurus, again you can't see anything, but the Taurus is hiding in here. Let's just come out. Radius 1, let's make it say 200, and radius 2, let's make it 25. Now this Taurus, let's just double click it and then bring it out in negative y direction. Let's click OK, and now you can see this Taurus. Now instead of 25, if I made this 50 and recalculate it, the thickness or the inside radius or the second radius, it becomes bigger, and it more or less now starts looking like a donut. So let's make this 90 and recalculate it. Now this looks like a donut. Now again, we have angle 1, 2 and 3, so let's change this. So instead of that negative 180, let's make it negative 90 and recompute. And as you can see, the bottom half of the torus is gone. So if I make this 0, the entire bottom half of this torus is gone. So let's make it again negative 180. And then if we made this 0, angle 2, it's the same thing. The top half will be gone. So click on torus and the top half is gone, as you can see. Now again, if I made this 180 and then change this angle as 90, recalculate, and as you can see, it is half of or 1/4 of the entire torus. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 different primitives that are available in FreeCAD: cube, cylinder, sphere, cone and torus. Let's change this back to 360 and recompute, and let's save this file first.